Guys, make sure you're following us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
It massively helps us out. Enjoy the episode.
What about someone like Sanchez, right? Alexis Sanchez. I remember Hugh Izzy saying this to me, and at the time I was like, come on. And he'd gone. I thought he was saying it because he'd gone from Arsenal to Man United and Hugh Izzy was going, well, he's finished anyway. But Izzy was saying that, he said, look, he's had Copa America. I think it was one of those, basically it was like 4 years back to back, where it's a World Cup or a Copa America. And Chile had got to the final of all of those. Plus he's playing Europa League or Champions League or whatever it was, all those games. And he was saying he's burnt out. He's finished.
You would be.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's kind of been right. Like the player that he was, why is he not the same? It's probably miles on the clock, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's why I'm a little bit scared about the likes of like Pedri.
Yeah.
Like he played the same amount of games as Bruno, or didn't he play more than Bruno this last year?
I think he's probably played the most in.
And he's what?
European
how old
football.
is he? 18, 19?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
18.
he played. I want to say he played 70.
He played
and
70
Bruno
something.
said 73 or
Yeah.
something. But you're right. What is he? 18?
But that's why I think that's why you see nowadays. Like I think managers and clubs are very protective of their young players, especially at City. You're looking at the likes of Phil Foden. Like Pep's been very, very careful with him.
Yeah.
Put him out on loan, like not playing him every single game. And now I think you're seeing the benefit of what Pep's done for Foden. It's like when he plays, he's
fresh.
He is honestly, he is one of the most exciting young players.
But when
for
you
England.
have that level of squad depth, you can afford to allow your better players the time to recover.
But then you also, what I love seeing is a lot of young English players going abroad now.
Yeah.
And getting their game time that they do need.
There's a balance.
Sancho,
Yeah.
For sure.
Sancho is a
Jadon
prime
Sancho,
example.
yeah, Bellingham.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, exactly.
Look at Bellingham.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the questions while we're on it, we did actually get from a viewer was, do you think Phil Foden's a generational talent?
Yeah. I think.
Oh right, well that's right.
I know. I think he's when I watched him last week. I thought you don't even know you're that good.
Yeah.
Because what you see often in the Championship, for example, is, and QPR have been good at this recently, didn't used to be, they would give young players games and time. What is weird is that Foden doesn't seem to need those games. But what you see and say, like, they kind of turn up on the scene, oh, wow, they're really exciting, they're good. Then there's the second season where I think people's expectations go a bit higher than where they're at yet. And they themselves are kind of go, oh, how good am I? Am I good enough for this division? And it's the season after that where they go, oh, I'm too good. And when you know you're too good, you try a little bit more. Yeah. All right. And you understand that, okay, my brain is a little bit quicker than, or my legs are a bit quicker, or whatever it might be. And when that happens, when there's that click, and we've had it with, like, Taarabt had it, obviously, in the Championship, but Eze had it. Over a 3-year period, Eze turned up. First season was okay in patches. Second season was good in patches. Third season was too good.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen with Foden.
Where did he go?
But if you think Foden's good now, there's moments where he could have done more in that game. I don't know when
he could have had a hat-trick. He genuinely could have had a hat-trick.
They always say a prime is like 26 to 28. So they're saying it's a footballer's prime.
Right.
And he's, how old is he, 21?
I mean, if that
so many years ahead of him.
His performance at Anfield was just effortless, though. He was constantly involved against some of the best players in the league.
Do you know what his play style reminds me of? I look at him, I see Jack Wilshere.
Really?
See that left,
that running style.
And you know when that.
Sorry, that wasn't complimentary at all.
You know, he always plays with his head up. You never see Foden with his head down.
It's very Iniesta-esque, isn't it?
Yeah, and when you look at Jack Wilshere when he was younger playing for Arsenal, he's always playing with his head up, and that is so rare to see in a young footballer, like, and just commanding one of the best Premier League teams there
fear.
is.
That's
yeah.
It just plays completely.
That goal
fear.
that Salah scores, Foden could do that. Foden could do that. That's the difference for me. I don't think Foden's aware that he's so much better than everyone else that he tries that yet.
Right.
But there's no reason why he's not capable of scoring goals like that.
I do think, though,
if
he wasn't at a club like Manchester City, say he was at like a mid-table club, I think he would try stuff like that. Because do you not feel like, because of the players he's surrounded by at City, he might have this concept in his head that's like, oh, I'm not one of these big guys that I can't show off in case I make a mistake.
Like Jack Grealish.
Yes.
Like, if you think Jack Grealish, it feels like he's toned it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he's sort of looking at... And there was a moment, actually, where Foden tried to play the pass to... Or wanted to play a pass to De Bruyne. De Bruyne didn't make the run. And Foden didn't go at De Bruyne. He turned to Guardiola and went... Like,
he
like,
should be doing
it's not
that.
me. He's not my fault.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to make the run. Like, so I think you're right with that. I think that might be where it's exciting with him for England, is like the freedom that he might get there. But I guess you've got to fit everyone in. That's the problem. I think.
Is that sorry to
go ahead.
keep banging on about Man City, but do you reckon that's why they never hit the heights that they should in big games necessarily,
Champions
like
League
Champions
games.
League final, etc.?
So why do you think they're bottling that Champions League game? Essentially,
Because let's face it, City in the Premier League are I think
they play
they're the best team in the league.
What I mean is that
they
they play with freedom. They play with it's almost training level performances that they have. But then when it comes to the big game, it's like, well, this kind of means something. We've got to.
I think there's a sort of water torture with Man City in the league where you're kind of like, they just dominate all the time. The different with cup games is that someone could try something different in that one game, and I think almost for the opposition as much as for Man City players, is that you just got to get to 90 minutes. When it is a cup game, I think there's a bit more of that, whereas I think there's not that same feeling on the 90 minutes when it's a league season. So I reckon there's 30-40% of games where the team's already beaten before they even get out there. Yeah. And I think there's teams in history where we've seen that, like that great Chelsea side. I think Old Trafford for a long time, it was like, we're screwed here, aren't we? When you go to Old Trafford, like you sneak a draw, you take it. And then when Fergie left, David Moyes came in and they lost 1 or 2, and then everyone, it's like the sort of the bubble was burst.
Yeah.
And then
that's
like,
exactly
let's have a little go. Yeah. So I think there's like, people are already, I don't know, knowing that they're going to kind of lose those games. Whereas a cup final, you go, let's just get to half time. And there's maybe that little bit more of a focus on that. And Man City, when they play the way that they do, where it's not truly about individuals that much, there might be a case where no one's totally certain of just taking the game themselves because it's such a team.
That's what I mean. Like if Pep goes and approaches a cup final game like he would, a standard sort of early Premier League season game, I think they just what the four most.
Well, it's certain games like when Man City lost to PSG.
Yeah,
and it's like those are the games City need to win.
Yeah,
like they have absolutely no choice to win. I feel like I always think in my head, like footballers, there is pressure, but they're now so elite and they're so mentally aware of everything. I don't actually feel like pressure affects them too much. For at Man City, I think there's such a hype and such like a what's the word, like they have to win the Champions League.
Yeah.
There's such a
expectation
on them to win the Champions League because of how much they've spent on the club. I think maybe some of them are probably overthinking it.
That's the point.
Well, that's what happened in the final. That's what happened.
Yeah.
They played Gundogan as at the base of the midfield.
Yeah, when he scored
13 goals.
Yeah, you played Rodri or Fernandinho.
It was. I mean, it's not for me to say Pep's making mistakes.
Yeah.
He made a massive mistake there. It was strange, and I guess that's the thing we love about football is that, and anyone can beat anyone because it's a low-scoring game. So I think in those big cup games, teams don't, say it's Chelsea and they are not defending for their lives, but they're trying to stop the opposition. Their players are better than, they're still elite players. You know what I mean? So if they get the chance, Kai Havertz will put, you would hope that he would put it away. So when it is one where maybe it's 60%, Man City are always going to dominate games by 60%, you still got 40% and better players in that 40%. That will give you maybe a chance where you win a game that you wouldn't expect them to.